What's up, guys? Crypto Muser here with your daily news and analysis in the crypto markets. Now, today I want to talk about the fact that Congress, it's so funny in this country. I don't know if there's any international listeners out there, but in our country, the way Congress works, especially in the last couple of years, is it works very slow. It's split basically 50-50 between Republicans and Democrats. So nothing really gets done. If one side wants to get something done, the other side usually goes 100% against it and vice versa. So nothing ever gets done. But with something like crypto, you think it'd be one of the most bipartisan issues in all of Congress and in the whole country. But for some reason, you still have, you have some people on both sides of the aisle that are pro-crypto. But it seems to me that the majority of pro-crypto is a Republican thing right now. So it's so funny after this FTX fiasco. Anybody in crypto knows that this was all about a fraudster. It was about somebody that defrauded their customers, stole money. He was a criminal, and he should be in jail for that, right? We had Bernie Madoff a couple of years ago do the same thing. We had Enron a couple of years ago do the same thing. They stole money, and they should go to jail for it, right? Well, there's congressmen out there, mainly on the left, Elizabeth Warren, and others, trying to say that we should just ban crypto now. Because we had a criminal that used crypto, right, they used an exchange to steal money, we should ban crypto, right? Just because when Bernie Madoff scammed all of his customers with the stock market, we should have just banned the stock market because we have bad actors in the stock market, right? That's what we should do. That's what they're basically saying, right? So it makes no sense. You can tell that it's, an all-out fight. It's basically people with the banking committee and all these people that are with the system, the current financial system, that are trying to all of a sudden ban crypto. So it makes total sense, right? So the first tweet I want to show you guys, here's Jesse Hines, great follow on Twitter. He said, "Here we go." This is in response to Watcher Guru that stated that Senate banking chairman says the SEC should ban crypto in the United States, citing national security threat. And he said, "Here we go. We are close, in my opinion. And if history tells us anything, it's first Wild West, then fear, then let's ban this thing, scaring people while those in the know invest, and then regulate it. The regular people who ran away get screwed, and Congress and the insiders basically get richer." Now, that's basically a trick they've been using for years. They did this in the dot-com bubble back in, I think it was around 99, 2000, where there was everything was .com, was making money, and all of a sudden they crashed the market and scared everybody. All the normal people or everyday investors got into these .com companies and got scared out of their investments because they were like, oh, the internet, that's not going to be a thing. So all the ordinary investors, while the mainstream media and the insiders were creating this fear around .com and all the internet, the mainstream investors, the ordinary investors took their money out. Meanwhile, the insiders and the mainstream media and Congress and all those people, they got right in there at the lowest price possible. And what happened after that? I think nowadays, those are probably the richest people that we have out there. Look at Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. The dot-com bubble that scared all those messers out now created the richest people in the world. So this is what they've done for years. They scare you out of your investment. They use fear. They use the mainstream media. They use everything, at their disposal to scare you out of the market. And that's what they're trying to do with crypto right here. A lot of people are actually, I have, half of me is thinking that this whole FTX thing and Sam Bankman-Fried was created to in a way for the SEC and the CFTC to come hard in on crypto, for Congress to use this as an excuse to come with hard regulation against crypto and say, now they're saying we should ban crypto, right? And Jesse Hines says it, right on the dot here. They're trying to scare you. So don't buy into this fear. 99% of people, everyday people, they watch mainstream media. I wouldn't say 99%. I'd say 85% of people watch mainstream media, and that's where they get their information. And it's all a scare tactic. When you just turn on the news, it's always fear. Fear this, fear this. You should worry about this, worry about this. That's how they catch you. That's how they try to control your emotion. You got to stop from that. Step aside. Turn off the mainstream media, get your media elsewhere, get your news elsewhere, because they will use fear as the biggest tactic, and they've been doing it for years. This isn't a new thing. They've been doing this, since the, how long, right? So the next thing I want to show you guys is a couple interviews. First, this is the Senate Banking Committee's, the chair of the Senate Banking Committee. Forget his name. I can't forget his, Rahm Emanuel? Is that what it is? No. Here, hold on. So I'll show you the video in a second, but what I said, so instead of so he's saying we should just ban crypto, right? So I said, instead of regulating this industry that's been around for over a decade now, they want to ban it because regulation would give it legitimacy. That's what their argument now. No, if we regulate it and we're giving this industry legitimacy, and we don't want to do that, right? This is what are they saying? They wanted to make a funny, I forget the name they wanted to give cryptocurrency because it's just all scams, right? And then, so I said, don't fall for the noise. These cronies will do all they can to stop this train, but it has already left the station. Now let's just listen to this guy, and I mean, he's trying to scare you, but they're not going to ban crypto. They can't ban crypto.
Are you at all concerned that if government decides crypto should be regulated, it's actually giving a green light to something that maybe some folks ought to be banned? Senator Tester isn't sure it should be legal.
Yeah, I share that thought. I think, though, that what we need to do now is, as I said, get Treasury to get all the different agencies. The agencies so far that have stepped up the most are Gensler at SEC and Russ Bennett at the Commodities Future Trading Commission. That's a more narrow jurisdiction he has. But we want them to do what they need to do at the same time. Maybe banning it, although banning it is very difficult because it will go offshore, and who knows how that will work. So this is a complicated, unregulated pot of money. It's been in so many ways. I mean, the Sam Bankman-Fried was at one point worth, they said, $30 billion, and now he's worth probably less than zero and may very well face jail time. But FTX is not the whole issue. That's what the focus started in our committee, but we really broadened it to discuss all the other, and every other nook and cranny in our economy where these people rear their heads.
Are you at all
So, to even think that could be an option to ban this thing, even at its low point right now, we're at, I think it's almost around $800 billion market cap. At the height of the bull market, it was at $3 trillion. You can't ban a $800 to $3 trillion market. That's not just nothing, right? You had your chance back in 2013 or 14 or whatever. Like I said, the train has left the station, and most people know this, but it's people like this and others in Congress that don't want to educate themselves in what actually crypto and blockchain technology does for the financial system, right? It helps. It's not like it's like some Bitcoin maxis and people out there think it's just going to replace money. Crypto is just going to replace money. Maybe sometime in the next 25, 30 years, but for now, it's something to help the current system. Because right now it's clunky. If you ever try to send a payment, the reason why I got in crypto and XRP and Algo and all these other cryptocurrencies in the first place is because I realized that when I try to send money overseas or through Western Union or MoneyGram, it takes time, it costs money, and it's like 3 to 5 days. Why? Why should it wait 3 to 5 days at also a 50% cancel failure rate, right? You never even know what's going to get there when you send money. Why should it be so hard this day and age when we can I can talk to someone halfway across the world, or I can send an email instantly? Why can't I do that with value? Why can't I do that with money? Why can't I instantly send $1,000 to my buddy out in Thailand, right? Instantly in their bank account. It makes no sense. We should have a product that does that. Ripple has a product called on-demand liquidity that does it right away. But the fact that we have our SEC in our country going after an American company trying to make payments easier and more and it's just easier all around. It makes no sense that they're trying to stop a company like that. Ripple's not defrauding anybody. It's funny that the SEC goes after Library, Ripple, BlockFi, all these companies out there, right, that haven't defrauded anybody, right? They've committed zero fraud. And meanwhile, you have FTX, you have Celsius, you have Luna that are actually defrauding people, that are Ponzi schemes that the SEC does nothing about. So what are they doing out there? They're obviously not doing the right thing. So the next couple interviews here we had on Fox Business. First, we have Tom Emmer, which is a great, you can tell, like I said in my last video, you can tell that when this guy speaks, he did his homework, right? He did his research and understands what this technology is. So listen to what he says, and he's been kind of saying this for a couple of weeks now, but no one seems to be listening. But listen up. Hold on. What's going on? What's going on? I got no volume. What's going on, guys? What happened to my volume? Let's try this one more time, or I'll... This is why you don't go live. Why isn't it displaying? What's going on? Oh, sorry. Here we go.
Point. They're going after, and by the way, it's not about crypto. Remember, this is about centralized finance. DeFi is the point. They're going after decentralized finance. This is not what it's about. Right. It's not about the crypto industry. This is about Sam Bankman-Fried. It's about the regulator, Gary Gensler, and it's about centralized finance, which needs to be brought under our regulatory umbrella. Yeah. And Gary Gensler has done nothing to make that happen.
And I really hope you guys bring in Silicon Valley, which I think plays a major role in this, and a whole bunch of other things that have ripped off the American public. Congressman, again, congratulations. I'm glad you came on the show. Thank you.
Right, and he says at the end, it's funny how they always, crypto is the only place where fraud is done, right? Fraud isn't committed on every other level. Like money laundering, I love when Elizabeth Warren and some of the congresswomen and men came on the other day and said, crypto is only used for money laundering and terrorism and all this. And I'm like, crypto's been around for maybe a decade. You're telling me that they didn't use dollars before for money laundering or terrorist funding? It's like all of a sudden, when people use this for something bad, it just got, all these bad things got invented with crypto, right? This wasn't happening before crypto. I mean, it's obviously they're not doing the research. It's what word I was going to say? It's lazy journalism, right? That's exactly what it is. Lazy journalism or lazy research to try to, peg crypto as the only reason why people use crypto is for money laundering, for criminal activity. That's preposterous, right? So the next video I want to show you guys is, this is Warren Davidson, and it's more the same thing. He's trying to, what I'm saying is, it's funny that they're trying to, through this FTX thing, they're trying to say that all of a sudden, crypto should be banned because this guy from FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, used crypto and used this crypto exchange to steal money. But it has nothing to do with crypto. It has everything to do with a criminal that stole money. Bottom line, right? So let's listen to Warren Davidson talk here in this Fox Business interview.
It was lively, but it was frustrating, I got to tell you. Listening to questions, for instance, from your colleagues across the aisle, they use this whole event to prosecute all of crypto. Ironically, most admit it, they don't understand it. I mean, every question started like this. I don't know what this thing is. I don't like it. It shouldn't exist. Let's get rid of it. I mean, I was like, these are lawmakers. These are your colleagues. They want to get rid of something they don't understand. What's going on?
I've spoken with more than one who said, why don't we just ban all this stuff? And I'm like, so were you ready to get rid of the whole S&P 500 because Bernie Madoff had an S&P 500 fund? What, just the logic of this is horrible.
Well, let me jump in, sir.
Right? The logic of this is just horrible, right? Anything that, anytime a criminal uses something, like when a criminal uses the internet to commit fraud or to do something bad, just ban the internet. No, let's try to catch the criminals, right? And you have the SEC. The funny thing about all this is that the SEC, this happened, Sam Bankman-Fried had 3 or 4 meetings with the SEC and Gary Gensler while he was committing fraud and while he was stealing money from customers. So, no, we don't need new laws and we don't need new rules. We need regulation for crypto, but this wasn't about crypto. This was, it's illegal to launder money. It's illegal to steal customer money. It's illegal to give campaign contributions with stolen money. These are illegal things that are already illegal, right? And that's what he committed. So it's up to the SEC and other agencies to catch these criminals for doing criminal acts, not just blame it on crypto and say that the SEC needs more money to catch these people, because they were right. It was right under their nose. Literally, they were having meetings with the SEC and Gary Gensler while they were committing fraud and stealing money. Now, let's see what Crypto Law posted this, and I thought this was perfect. It's like, now you're seeing, and Rosalind Layton from Forbes has been on this from day one. It's been like 2 years of this SEC first triple case, and she's been calling out the SEC and Gary Gensler from day one. But she wrote another op-ed in Forbes, and this is a little snippet of what she wrote in there. In the end, the Ripple case will likely have exposed the SEC's regulation by enforcement strategy as a flimsy attempt at expanding its turf rather than concern over investor protection. The latest column by Rosalind Layton. I mean, the SEC and Gary Gensler, what a failure. What an absolute and utter failure. You were there. The whole purpose of the SEC is to protect investors. That is the whole purpose of and why the SEC was created in the first place, was to protect investors, right? And what are they doing? Not protecting investors at all. They are actually hurting investors. And even in this BlockFi settlement they made with $100 million, right? Now BlockFi goes out of business, right? Guess who the second biggest, the people that are going to get their money second in this bankruptcy are the SEC. And guess who gets left holding the bag? The investor. The everyday investor in BlockFi gets zero. The SEC gets paid before the investor does. How does that make any sense at all? I have no idea. Next on the list. So James Filan posted this. This is another article. This is in the Wall Street Journal, calling out Gary Gensler also. Where was Biden's SEC sheriff on Sam Bankman-Fried? Opinion piece from the Wall Street Journal. Where was Biden's SEC sheriff on Sam Bankman-Fried? He was there. I mean, he was having meetings with this guy within the SEC. He didn't see this coming. He didn't ask, going through, Sam Bankman-Fried was trying to get a license, exchange license in the U.S. He didn't look at the books and say, what are you guys doing here? What's all, he didn't see this at all. If this is the cop on the beat, right, that's supposed to stop these things from happening, and he had 3 to 4 meetings with the same company that defrauded Americans and other international investors, and you didn't see this coming, guy needs to be fired. I mean, let's be real. This regulation by enforcement, everything this guy has been doing has failed. So this guy needs to be fired ASAP, and it's amazing that, Democrats still stand behind this guy. Unbelievable. Now, the last 2 things I want to say in this video. First of all, I just thought this was incredible. So they just said recently that the campaign donations that went out to, Republicans and Democrats, mostly Democrats, obviously, by FTX and Alameda Capital, they have to return those funds. Now, listen, this is some guy, who is this? I forget. This guy's from I forget who this is, but let's listen to this real quick.
Illegal campaign contributions to be made to candidates and committees associated with both Democrats and Republicans. These contributions were disguised to look like they were coming from wealthy co-conspirators, when in fact, the contributions were funded by Alameda Research with stolen customer money. And all of this dirty money was used in service of Bankman-Fried's desire to buy bipartisan influence and impact the direction of public policy in Washington. To anyone who is watching this or hears about this prosecution, if you believe that you have been a victim of these schemes or you have information about the conduct that we've alleged in our indictment that we've unsealed today, please let us know. To any person, entity, or political campaign that has received stolen customer money, we ask that you work with us to return that money to the innocent victims. And to anyone who participated in wrongdoing at FTX or Alameda Research and who has not yet come forward, I would strongly encourage you to come see us before we come see you.
Boom. This is so obviously a spokesperson from the DOJ. So just recently I saw something too on Twitter that said that both parents of Sam Bankman-Fried were on the payroll of FTX. So this thing is we're obviously going to get more and more information on this case. I mean, this is going to go on for, at least a year, maybe 2 years, if not longer. So we're going to get more and more information as the facts come in. And I will be on here, I will, to give you guys as much information as possible. And I will leave you guys with one more thing, just to, I know everybody's freaking out with the market right now. You see it keep going lower, and it's like kind of in this little range of just doing nothing, because that's how bear markets are. This isn't my first rodeo, so anybody if this is your first bear market, this is how things go. Do not get scared out of this market. Keep dollar cost averaging, not financial advice, but do the right thing and just be patient, guys. Patience is the biggest key in this market. Now, I'll leave you with this quick fact. I guess they call it in Watcher Group fun fact. Only 4.5% of the entire global population is invested in cryptocurrency. And I think it might even be lower than that. So remember that, guys. Only 4.5% of the entire global population is invested in cryptocurrency, which is obviously the future of finance in the world. Only 4.5%. You are part of the small 4.5% of the global population. So remember that you are early. Be patient, and I'll be here for you guys to give the information. Remember, this is not financial advice. Anybody, this is not financial advice. Please do not take anything I write or say as financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And thanks, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.